The 2 for $5 menu, only at Sonic or in the app.
Welcome back, everyone. Knowing the secrets to having great conversations can make a big difference in both our personal and professional lives. Lou Diamond is a professional speaker and podcaster who has written the book on elevating your conversational confidence. The book is called Speak Easy, Connect with Everyday Conversation, and Lou Diamond is with me now to talk about it. He's outside New York City. Lou, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jenny. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. We're happy that you're here. You know, you have 5 main tips that we're going to talk about, beginning with being yourself.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's really interesting when we think about having conversations with people. A lot of times we've imitated a lot of different things we've seen in our lives. Maybe we've seen a professional speaker or an actor or someone on television. And often we'll try to maybe mimic that. And in business, we may see someone that is a mentor of ours, and we'll try to be like that person. Make no mistake, there are certain lessons that you can learn from other people, but what really connects with people when you have a conversation is when you own who you are. There's something inside of you, your charisma, the energy that you have, that's what people want to connect to. So instead of trying to be like somebody else when you're having a conversation or someone you think you should be like, own who you are and be you. And that would be the way that people would want to connect with you.
That's a really good, important distinction, too, that it is okay to emulate and to have mentors, but you have to connect it back to you, and you have to be at the core. What about this one? Fun Street is where all the people meet. What's Fun Street?
Well, you know, we have conversations, and I usually state this for business-related conversations, but make it clear in a conversation, whether it's a work meeting, an initial interaction, a networking opportunity, we try to make it professional and have business, and maybe we feel like we need to put on kind of a straight way of being. Having a little bit of a laugh in a conversation, or maybe even more importantly, even just telling your face to be happy that you're having one. Smile, put yourself ear to ear, make it a fun opportunity. Too often, Jenny, we forget how lucky we are to have the opportunity to have a conversation. You might as well have fun while you're doing it. People want to have more conversations with people that are enjoyable, lighthearted, and fun. Be yourself and make it not so serious all the time. In doing that, that will lead to more conversations because people will walk away with a really good feeling. A jaunt down Fun Street is a lot of fun in a conversation.
I love that. That's a great way to look at it. Something else you say is something that I always stress to reporters that I'm mentoring. And the one tip that I always say to them is that you have to be an active listener. That's such an important skill, an active listener. And you call this showing up, being present and attentive in the moment.
Showing up is what we need to do when we're in the conversation. And a lot of times we're so tempted to tell someone something versus asking them something and engaging the conversation that way. That active listening, that's actually a coaching tactic. And it's a great, think about all the great therapists or coaches, they're really good listeners. And I like to say, give it your all. Ask, listen, and then learn. And learn from what you've heard to then reiterate that into the next question you ask in a conversation. Great interviewers like yourself, Jenny, do this. You hear something and you may have a script, but the reality is by asking those questions and being active to what the person you're speaking with is talking about is going to create a closer connection because we love when people listen to us.
Exactly right. And something else that is really important is clarity. Clarity in your conversation. My co-anchor, in fact, says he says clear over clever.
Yeah, and that is, I agree with him.
Clear over clever.
I totally agree with him. I would use the same motto. A lot of times we feel we may need to get into more intricacies and have to talk a lot or show our detailedness or get into something a little bit more advanced than the basic simplicity. You know, keep it simple is very key in conversation. But most importantly, you can't have a clear conversation without being clear. Try to make sure you enunciate correctly, you speak clearly, and your points are very basic and not too far in advance unless you build upon that, specifically in a conversation. So yeah, you might be cute or try to be sarcastic or try and use a weird analogy, but sometimes you may lose the connection you have in a conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
By doing so.
That can lead to an epic fail. That can bomb on you. When you're talking about the points and just making a few little points, it almost makes me think about, too, you know, the classic elevator speech. You know, you're going to have like a minute and a half with somebody. What are the points you want to hone?
I like to drill it down to something even simpler. I'll call it a team A, which is tell me about yourself, right? We want to know kind of who you are, how you are regularly, what you like to do. And my favorite part is how you can help the person you're talking with. I know this sounds really weird. If you make describing who you are to somebody about how that other person can benefit from you, think about how great that would be versus somebody telling you, here's all the great things I do, this is what I'm about, and here are all my great accomplishments. There's not so much we want to hear about that. We want to hear about something that's going to help us and why I should continue having a conversation with someone. So in that team A, that tell me about yourself, try to keep it focused about how what you do, what I love to say is the language of connection, the currency is help. We love service, and I think it's so important. Where does that person need the most help? And by the way, you might not be the person to help them. You may be connecting them to somebody else
connecting the
that
dots.
You've had a good
Absolutely.
conversation. Yeah,
absolutely. I feel that so much in my job that I might not be able to help that person directly, but I know who I can put them in touch with to help them. Finally, don't just speak, but truly connect.
When we think about connecting, right, when we're just talking and uttering things out, we're not really kind of diving into someone's world. The visual I'll give you, Jenny, is if this is your world, a little circle here, and this is my world, you know, when we're just speaking to each other, we're like two circles bubbling around one another. When we make a connection, those two circles have overlapped. We've done something in the conversation where we've seen into someone else's world and they've seen into ours. And what happens when that happens? We grow. We take a piece of somebody else and add it to our own world. And they, in turn, add what we have and add it to theirs. That's what happens.
That's right. Yep. That's right. I'm seeing these little circles just kind of merging. I love that. You must be a terrific motivational speaker. I'd love to be in your audience. Do you have any TED Talks posted or anything like that?
I've got TED Talks, and you can go head on over to thriveloud.com, and you can see all of the opportunities of where I speak about connecting and also how you can speak easy and be a master connector, which is what we're all about. You can get Speakeasy, which I'm holding here in my hand. You can get it at speakeasybook.com, and you can order right there, however you'd like to get it, whether print, digital, or audio.
Lou Diamond, it has been a pleasure talking with you today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Jenny.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Up next.
So when they came in to get chemo the week of Valentine's Day, they were